Hey guys, welcome back. Just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about something that I think is pretty important. We'll just call it the Team Pixel controversy or whatever you want to call it. Um, Basically, what happened is last week Google had their launch event where they launched all their new Pixel phones and the earbuds and watch and everything. You can check out my video with my initial thoughts on that. But this is not about that. This is about something else that happened at that event, or as the event was going on, very soon, very close to the event. Mr. Who's the Boss, one of the biggest tech YouTubers on the planet, maybe even the biggest, uh, posted out a tweet on Twitter. It's still Twitter. Basically said, I didn't get an invite to the Pixel event. I haven't gotten any Pixels to review. That's why I don't have a video up yet, all that stuff. He mentioned how he had been critical of the Pixel 8 in series in his last year, but that shouldn't be a reason to not be included in the reviews this year, which I totally agree. So that would happen, and then a few days later, or shortly thereafter, someone posted a screenshot of the form that was required by all members of Team Pixel to get their new review devices. And this form said, hey, if you're going to review this device, if you're going to be a member of Team Pixel, you have to put Team Pixel favorably in your coverage. You can't have it alongside any other competing products in the videos. And basically, if you don't say nice things about it, then we're going to terminate the relationship, right? Now, let me be clear first. Team Pixel is not the same thing as guys like Mr. Who's the Boss and MKBHD and other big name journalists and reviewers getting review devices. Those are two separate groups, right? Mr. Mobile has a really good video where he talked about it, which I'll link down below. But essentially, those are two separate groups. Mr. Who's the Boss is a separate journalist type situation. And Google quickly rectified that with saying that apparently there was a big internal miscommunication and he just wasn't invited. It was a miscommunication. It was not an intentional oversight, right? Mr. Mobile also talked about in his video how disorganized Google is as a company, and that's to put it nicely. I would have to agree with that. In my dealings with Google, they've seemed very disorganized and very not on top of things. So I would agree with that. I haven't had nearly the level of interactions that he has, but my few interactions with them, they seem very disorganized. Right? Team Pixel is a separate thing. It was initially started as kind of like a brand ambassador program where they were called superfans, Pixel superfans, and you could sign up and you'd get free devices. And the idea was you would just post about it on social media, kind of talk about it, build awareness, right? That was really what it was about, brand ambassadors, to build awareness of the Pixel phones. Well, apparently for this year only, they included some special language in there, like I said earlier, where you had to talk favorably. You had to say nice things about the Pixel phones, and you couldn't include any competitor phones in the coverage of the Pixel devices, right? Obviously, very unethical, obviously very not cool for Google to do that, right? Now, this is my opinion. Some people, and this is hugely complex, right? There's a whole lot of layers to this. Please keep in mind that for every situation, not just this whole Team Pixel debacle, but every politically wrought, emotionally wrought, ethically wrought situation, there are always multiple perspectives to everything. So first, keep that in mind. There's always, always, always multiple perspectives that are different than yours. So there's always more to the story than what you know. But I just wanted to talk about my opinions about it first. To me, seeing that screenshot, seeing that as a part of the form fill that you're required to fill out to be a part of Team Pixel and those Team Pixel devices, to me is very unethical. It's very not cool. A good buddy of mine, Adam Matlock, he's over at Tech Odyssey. That's his channel. I have it linked down below too. He was a part of Team Pixel, and he actually posted a video saying that he quit. He sent in his resignation or whatever of Team Pixel. He physically, intentionally quit the program over this language. He was actually interviewed by The Verge for a piece that they did about this whole coverage issue. And so for me, it's very unethical. I find it very uncool. And then let me clarify this by saying I am not a member of Team Pixel. I have never been a member of Team Pixel. I signed up for the program. I submitted my application or whatever. And I was told that I was accepted to the Superfans program a couple years ago, but that was it. I never heard any communication from anyone at Google regarding Team Pixel or the Pixel Superfans program or anything like that. For some of my other reviews, I have received a device from Google, but it was not a phone. It's their new Fitbit Ace LTE. It's a kids-focused fitness tracker. That is a completely different thing that's coming. I'll do maybe a video about that later. But anyway, that is the only device I have received from Google as a product reviewer. I've never received any Pixel devices. I've never received any sort of communication from Google regarding the Team Pixel or the Pixel devices. I did reach out to my Google contact at their PR team about Pixel devices and was told that they don't have anything to send me, aka I'm not important enough. So if we get enough likes and subscribers and all things like that, maybe I can get some Pixel devices to review in the future. But anyway, that's not what we're here about. We are here to talk about ethics and journalism, okay? There's a whole lot of layers to this whole YouTube thing, right? As a content creator, as a journalist, like there's so many different buckets that what I do and what others like me do that this could fit into, right? Some of us, you could say we're just creating stories, right? You could say in one hand, we're simply content creators. We're just creating videos, talking about things that we like and putting it on the internet, right? And we're simply telling stories. So creating content, right? And on the other side, you could also say that there's a journalist aspect to it. If for those of you that don't know me, I've been doing this kind of thing, not content reviews or content creating, but I've been doing product reviews and tech journalism for a very long time. I started with Mobile Nations, which was Android Central, imore.com. Back in the day, I've been doing that for over 10 years. I've been writing for Crackberry, for Android Police, for CNET as a product reviewer, right? So that is a journalist thing. In that mindset, I'm very much a journalist. So I look at this as what I do as an extension of that. This is me basically being able to talk about my personal opinions, my personal thoughts and feelings about technology, removed from all of those, right? So this is me telling you my honest opinion. And I'm always honest in my reviews. I do get paid for some of my reviews, but I'm not paid by the company. I am paid by the publisher, right? So I get paid by CNET. I get paid by Android Police. I get paid by Crackberry to write an article. And it is never, hey, here's what you have to say about it. It is my honest opinions, my honest thoughts and feelings about using the device. They publish it, and then I get paid, right? That's how it works. That's how I work. That's how I operate. That's how I've always operated. In the past, I have done a few sponsored content posts, and all that means is the company that is paying for the content to live on the website, they provide suggestions and they say, hey, here's some things we'd like you to mention in the article. But I will never simply say this is the best because XYZ at the expense of all others, right? I will be honest about what I say. I will research things well that need to be researched. And I will never simply just provide a fluff piece, right? That's not what I do. I don't believe in that, and I won't do that. So again, Mr. Mobile kind of said a lot of these things as well. But I just wanted to say that, and again, I've said this so many times. Sorry, I ramble and I talk in circles. There's so many layers to this. So with the whole Team Pixel thing, to me personally, I look at that and say, I will never do that. I will not give you blanket, mushy coverage, no matter what you send me. Even if you pay me, if you give me a free device, I'm not going to do that. I will always be honest with my opinions. Mr. Mobile said something that was really interesting. He said one of the easiest ways to tell if you can trust people is by looking at the disclosures that they say, right? So for instance, if I come out and I say, look, here's a device that Google gave me, Google shipped me this phone free of charge to use or whatever, that's great. Like the Galaxy Z Fold videos that I've been doing, right? I personally paid money for this device. Samsung did not send me this device. Crackberry, Android Police, none of the sites that I write for sent me this device. I walked into the store, put my credit card on the counter, and paid over $2,000 for this device, right? This OnePlus Open that I've been using. This was a gift. I did not pay for this device. This was given to me. There's no financial incentive from anyone for this device, right? And the same is true of any other device that I receive. I will always tell you, hey, I received this device, right? Or how I got the device. So that's one thing I agree with that Mr. Mobile said, is that you do need to be careful of the disclosures. Most content creators, most reviewers especially, will have disclosure statements somewhere on their websites, somewhere in their videos that says, hey, this is our policy. The Verge is really known for having a really strong ethics policy, a really strict ethics policy, which you can check out at their website. Um, but here's the other thing. Again, this is where the perspectives and different layers come in, right? At the end of the day, content creators, journalists, product reviewers, however you want to define it, anyone that does this, they got to pay bills, right? I have kids. My buddy Adam has kids. People have bills to pay, right? So at the end of the day, every single one of us is fighting this uphill battle of monetization, views, affiliates, ad clicks, all that stuff. We're trying to fight against that uphill stream so we can pay the bills while maintaining our unbiased, our integrity, right? And sometimes that can be a tricky line to walk, because there are a lot of companies that are willing to pay money for fluffy content, right? But luckily there are some companies too that are completely honest, like, hey, just give us your honest feedback, positive or negative. We want good feedback. Um, you would hope most of the big companies are open to that. Maybe I'll do a whole video about this later, but most of the big companies that I've worked with in the past have never had any sort of positive review or positive statement clause, right? Anything like that. They've always just said the only type of things that they restrict are usually the timing of when reviews and content can go live, and it's typically right around the launch of the device, right? So most every company I've worked with, you have to sign the NDA that says, I agree to not release any coverage of this product until a certain date or time. That's very typical. That it happens across the industry with every company. It happens all the time. Don't worry about it. That's normal, and that's in every industry. Those are the only types of review or NDAs or what they call embargoes that I will agree to. Everything else, I will say, look, if you are going to terminate this relationship, if I say anything negative about you, so be it. I don't need you, right? It's not worth my integrity. Because I want to be honest. My job, the way I look at this, is my job is to give you honest feedback. I have opinions. I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to state them honestly. The iPhone 15 Pro, just another disclosure that I've been using and testing and reviewing. It was gift. I did not pay for it. It was sent to me to do content for. So, yeah. So I agree with Mr. Mobile in that disclosures are important. But I also would say, in addition to that, make sure you're looking at the content of their reviews. If you come across a reviewer who only ever says positive things about every product they review, I wouldn't trust them, because no product is perfect. See, here's the thing. As long as devices are made by human beings, they will never be perfect. And even when they're made by robots, the humans made the robots. So there's no device that will ever be released, ever, that will be perfect. So if there's ever a reviewer that comes across and says and never says anything bad about anything that they're reviewing, or specifically they never say anything bad about one particular company, one particular company's products, I don't know if I can trust them, right? As great as Apple's products is, they're flawed. As great as Samsung's products are, they're flawed. As great as OnePlus's products are, they are flawed. And if you ever come across a reviewer or a content creator who's not willing to say anything negative about a product or about a company, I wouldn't trust them. Again, there are sponsored posts. There are companies that will pay content creators money to post about the product. Sometimes, and some of these content creators and reviewers will agree to not say anything negative. They will agree to certain talking points. They will agree to only talk about certain features. That happens quite a lot, especially in the influencer world, which maybe is another kind of sub-segment of content creators, right? You see this a lot on Instagram, where, it's a sponsored post, but they're only talking about certain features or things of the products. They're not saying anything bad, right? They only say good things. So that's up to each creator, each influencer, however you want to define that. It's so complicated and convoluted. But there are people that do that. Whether or not you trust them, it's up to you, right? I think you have to go look at their overall broad range family of content and just see what you think. Uh, for example, I review a lot of lawnmowers and chainsaws and that kind of stuff over at top10reviews.com. In every single one of my reviews, I list the bad with the good. I'll say, here's what's good about it, here's what's bad about it. So if somebody's not willing to say anything bad about it, I wouldn't trust them. Um, so I know I've talked a lot, but I'm really curious to hear your comments. I hope that over time I will build trust with you, that you will come to see that I am a trustworthy, honest, opinionated reviewer who's not afraid to talk about their opinions. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, questions. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, I'm always open for content ideas. So let me know what you think. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me for this long. Sorry that I ramble and that I talk a lot, but I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.